now as well. So if you're new to this channel on TikTok, on YouTube, welcome guys. We are going to be trading gold and NASDAQ through the US Open. We have a pending order right now on NASDAQ. I'll just explain what that is. We're going to come to gold as well because I do believe that gold may, sorry, let me get rid of that. Don't use trend lines. That was just something for I remember earlier. Okay, so look, we've got a very simple breakout setup here on the daily chart. So I'm just going to highlight what I'm looking at. You've got, it's going to be a little bit easier to illustrate on TikTok because I can pull in a drawing tool. So if you look at this candle here, the white bullish one, that closed above the resistance level that I'm just going to highlight here. Let me bring it the back. So closed above this level through here. So we've seen the candle close above. The next candle, the one that's currently live, the black candle. Why have you bought what? Haven't bought yet. We've got a pending order. So candles broke, closed above. Today's candle has come back down. So basically grabbing liquidity to attract buyers to the market. Get out of that. Yeah, thanks, Kieran. Thanks for your advice, but it's all right. I'll stick to my rules, mate. And we'll be buying the break at the high of yesterday's candle. So, Pearland Coffee, how we doing? Sean, how we doing? Um, Coco, Coloco, how we doing? Um, yeah, so there's always backseat drivers. So you want to say what you're doing and how you're doing it, by all means, you can trade live in front of people, Kieran, and show exactly how it's done. Price will come back down. Yeah, that is the daily chart, mate. But I'm not backseating. Okay, that's not you just sat there trying to tell me what to do. Go for it, mate. Rock up a live stream. You go for it. Show people what you're doing. I win and I lose in front of people a lot more than most people will dare to do. So it's easy sat there on the sideline saying it's going to do this, it's going to do that. But lay, lay your balls on the line, mate. Don't sit on the sidelines and say what it's going to do. Live stream, show people what it's going to do. Look, at the end of the day, we all have systems, right? And I'm not trying to diss you for it, but there's too many people that always try and diss people that are online doing what they do, what they love, what they have a passion for. And just because your system or your rules, if you have rules, I don't know, disagree with that, you start telling someone to do something else. If you don't agree with it, either keep your mouth shut or go somewhere else. Yeah. So this is my rules, my system. I'm happy to learn and take advice of other people, but at the same point, I want to see people. I've been in this industry since 2009, right? And I've lost a lot. I've made a lot. I've made some huge errors. Markets are very, very different now to what they are different. Um, it's all right, Kieran. I just, I'm in one of those moods today. I'm in one of those moods. I'm not normally like that, so forgive me. Um, who's on YouTube? You've been quiet, guys. Frankie, Anna, how we doing, guys? JT, how we doing? Will Arnold, Hugo Gomez, well done, welcome to the stream, guys. Okay, so we've got buys in above here on the Nasdaq. Also, I'm just watching the hourly on gold. Um, Now, my only concern with gold, right? I'm looking for longs on gold. I don't hope, mate. I just stick to my plan, and it either does or it doesn't. Um, Emotions are best kept in a can when it comes to trading. Um, I don't know, Adrian Tudor, how we doing? Um, hey Kobe, Kobe, you're in here and you're on your own live stream as well. That's a guy that can multitask. I don't know how he does it. Um, okay, so look, I'm definitely favoring gold longs. I'm looking for what I call a BPC long, which is breakout, pullback, continuation. There's, like I say, everything is rule based with me, so there's no emotions involved. It is an emotionless industry. If you are going to trade on emotions, you're going to let dopamine kick in, you're going to let FOMO kick in, all the things that are going to make you do the shit that you really shouldn't be doing. So if you have something that is just very simple, and look, my rules are really, really simple. I can teach a 10-year-old how to trade the way I do in a matter of a few months once they understand a few things. Um, I'm looking to get long, Tom, on gold. I'm looking to get long. I'll explain why from the daily chart. So this move I'm just seeing as a pullback for it to start to continue again. So look, I'm just going to squeeze in a bit more data. Let me move my little rules out the way for now for what I'm looking to set up. Um, so, oops, sorry, don't know why it's moving like that. All right, let's just squeeze in. Fuck, I, I don't know what's going on with TradingView. There we go. I think we are set now. Okay. Um, okay, so going back to, if you look, we've got the high over here. Let me change the color. Okay, we've got a high there. We've got another failed high at the same price. Then we have a look. If we look at the lows, we've got a structure low and then a new low. The market then created a lower high, then created a higher low, and then we've pushed through and we've now created a new high. So on a daily, when we look at this high has now returned to what I would call an upward trend on the daily because we've now created a higher low and a higher high. Okay, so very, very simple. Now, on that basis, I'm just looking for the market to pull back for a continuation long. Now, I want to see clear candle space. So clear candle space will only happen really above this short-term resistance level that I see in here. So we need to see a closure above this price to be a buyer. Now, I was interested in being a buyer here, but I just don't have any clear space to trade into. I've got resistance here at 33.61. If I want to see it, tap the 4 hour. Uh, don't talk to me about fair value gaps and I ICT smart money concepts. I'll let you guys talk all that, but you can do that somewhere else, mate. It's not for me. Having a coffee on my holiday in Mexico and looking for a trade. Well, listen, enjoy Mexico, amigo. I wouldn't mind being in Mexico right now because the sun has disappeared today. Yeah, so look, opportunities. Shorts, I'm going to look for sells on gold underneath. Now remember, I'm a day trader, so I don't give a damn about fundamentals. I just want to see structure and I want to see buyers or sellers come back into the market. So I'm looking for sells below 33.48, basically even handle. Okay, so if I get a closure below there, then I'm happy to sell. Uh, if I get a closure above buys above 3365.2, I'm happy to be a buyer. Um, hey guys, it's hell no, yeah. All right, whatever, mate. Uh, yeah, so we're looking at gold right now, guys. This is the hourly. So I'm looking for sells on a closure below here. I'm looking for buys on a closure above. Let's have a look at the 30. 30-minute is giving me the same information. I'm just going to bring it down, structure a little bit on the 30-minute. So it's going to be 3346.9. All right, 3346.8. Okay. Who else we got in on YouTube? Anyone else rocked up? Momentum will hold for a buy. Well, we will see, guys. Look, at the end of the day, um, we we don't know when we're referring to things like momentum, volatility, orders. Remember, no one knows what the buy orders are. You get information from the broker, and that's it, because it's OCT, right? So it's over the counter. So you don't actually know. The only true buy orders you know in FX are the futures markets, and that data's printed on a Friday at 9 p.m. GMT, and it's collected at 2 p.m. On a Tuesday, right? So effectively you're getting the data collected on a Tuesday. So by the time it comes out, and this is from the CFTC, so you can get all this data for free. Just go into the cftc.gov website, and then you can extrapolate it, and you can start to look at how the small specs are positioned, non-reportables, institutions from a commercial point of view, and institutions from a non-commercial. You can see all that. In terms of a readability and the way that it looks and how to interpret into trading information, that's another matter. The way that you'll see it is just a number format, and then creating something that is visually able to, and this is in short, just search or Google COT data. And that would tell you how or institutions are positioned in the market. But remember, that's more for long-term plays. I'm a day trader. I don't care how the long-term traders are played. You know, if the market's moved excessively in one direction, I know that commercials are going to be actively buying something the cheaper it gets, or they're actively going to be selling something the more expensive it gets, because that's how commercials, cftc.gov, okay? Um, because look, if you think about it from a financial perspective, right? If you are a business, and by the way, they acquire and own about 60% of all financial transactions, right? So that means they're the biggest player in the market, not hedge funds, not Warren Buffett, not none of that. Actual businesses, corporates who use the market to facilitate business transactions, not to speculate, right? There's a big difference. So I use this analogy quite a lot, right? If you're Starbucks, what's the main product that you buy or sell? I'll get cftc.gov. Uh, cftc.gov. It should. Okay. Now, what's the main product that Starbucks buys or sells? What's the main product? Simple question. It's not a trick question. What do you think it is, guys? Hey, Terry, how you doing? So, yeah, coffee. It's coffee, right? So if that's the main product that they buy and sell, now imagine you own Starbucks, right? Starbucks is your company. It's your little baby. If you see the price of coffee beans getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, are you going to buy more or sit on the sidelines? What are you going to do? How will the price of coffee beans affect your business? Right, guys, if this is the if coffee beans is doing wrong. If coffee beans is do if this is the price of coffee beans, right? And you're seeing this on a chart, it's doing this. As a trader, are you going to be selling it or buying it? You think going to hit 33.50? Mm, well, it's not far from it now. So if you've seen that trend as a trader, are you going to be a buyer or a seller? The market's going down. What? Right, do I need to move the gold chart out of the way? Right, if you see this happening, are you thinking buys or sells? Okay, so if you're a speculator, if you're someone that uses the markets to make capital, the only thing you should really be thinking when you see something like this is, right, I want to sell rallies. I want to sell rallies. I want to sell rallies. That's the only thing you should be thinking, right? But as a corporate, you're going to be doing something different. As a corporation, if this is coffee beans doing this, Starbucks might order 20 millions worth here. They might order 30 millions worth here. Why? They might order 40 millions worth here. Why would they do that? the more they buy at the cheaper price, the more profit they get in a cup of coffee, a cup of coffee. Yeah, that's the only way they can increase margins without decreasing, let's say, salaries, decreasing is cut costs on the overheads. And their main overhead is coffee. So if they see coffee beans getting cheaper and cheaper, they're going to buy more of it, which is completely opposite to what you would do as a trader. Yeah. So the same with like any commodity. It's the same. Think about gold right now. If you own a gold mine and you see gold prices going crazy and crazy, are you thinking, right, do I want to sell into these rallies? Yeah, absolutely. You want to sell into these rallies. You want to take as much profit off the table while you can. Now, if the price of gold is dropping like this and you own a gold mine, you stop selling into the market. You stop selling into the market because you want the market to appreciate. So how do you make it appreciate without selling? You hold demand. You keep supply until the demand is there, and then you start to see it increase. That's the difference, right? So that's how corporations work in a marketplace. Um, all right, let me just get rid of all these things that I've just been drawing on the chart. So hopefully that makes sense, guys, on how we can look at markets and how certain uh, people within the market will trade. Yeah, so you've got two different perspectives. You've got the trader, the speculator, which is us, which will look to buy with trend and sell with trend. And then you have the corporations who are the much bigger players in the market. Massive. Uh, who's that? Rose requested to join as a guest. Hi, sorry, I don't accept any guests or do any co-hosting just yet because I'm too new to TikTok. I don't know how it works. So thanks, Rose, but unfortunately, it's not something I do at the minute. I need to have a little play around, see how I can understand this platform a little bit better. Um, so, hi, Darwin. Hey, Charlie. Hey, Forex Squad. Mansoor, there's plenty that have come in that I haven't had the opportunity to say hello to yet, so I do apologize. So look, if we get below 33.46, we've got loads of clear candle space, loads. And if we get a close below there, we're selling, right? If we get a close above here, we're buying. So and the market trend is to the upside, but it doesn't mean that we won't get a further downside, okay? So full margin sells for you, love it. uh, love it. Full margin sales. Buddy getting turtle soup. Love it. Commentary's on fire on TikTok, guys. You need to up your game on YouTube. Okay, so listen, this is where we're at right now. There's nothing to do. There's no news that's going to affect it. We just have to sit tight. Um, NASDAQ, we are waiting. We have a pending order sat above yesterday's daily high. Uh, Initial break even is 18 points. Sales trend is your friend. Absolutely, Anna. Absolutely. Yeah, so we do have a uh, a buy order on NASDAQ right now. There's no data that's going to affect this right now. The next sort of big announcement, or not big announcement, big market movement will be in 15 minutes as COMEX opens. Uh, Full margin sales, buddy, get into what does CPI mean? Is that a joke or for real? Consumer price index. Followed live clear. I thought CPI meant casino price index. Love it. Okay. Yeah, so we're sitting tight. And look, the way I look at a candle is there's a couple of things. Obviously, we have the body. The body shows you who's in control. The body is the solid. Forgive me if you're an experienced trader and you understand candles very well, but I have to also appreciate that maybe some people have never seen a chart before. So if I'm teaching you to suck eggs, I do apologize. Uh, yeah, yeah, I got you now, Nahid. Um, we're looking at the body, and the bigger the body, the more buyers or the more sellers that are in control, the more volume. We can see that. So when we're looking at big body candles, there's lots of momentum, lots of volume in the market. Yeah, there's Dan. Yeah, it's not exactly crystal clear, which is why we're waiting for markets to break certain structure points. Peter Cole, hi mate. One of my members has just joined here on TikTok. So when we look at the market structure of a candle, if we know that the body is the volume or the buyers or the sellers that's in control, then we have to look at the thin black lines below and above. So what they tell me is they tell me whether the market is. You've probably heard of the expression of grabbing liquidity. I won't grabbing liquidity or creating liquidity is to if you want to be a buyer, right, you always want to buy at the best price possible. Now, the way I want to see it is I want to see the market has attracted buyers. And just because the market's come down, I'm not going to buy it down here. In this instance, I'm going to buy it as it breaks the high. So I'm buying with momentum. But basically, what's happened is the market's fallen and it's got to a point, market makers or sellers, however it's got to that price, we will never know. And we can create whatever fabricated story we want to have based around all the wonderful tales we hear from all the gurus out there. That will say, oh, this is happening because of X, Y, Z. We have no idea why it's happening. We can just see it's happening. Okay. So we will never know why the market's gone down or why it's gone up because good news can send it up, good news can send it down. We just have to understand that the market is being moved in a direction by buyers and sellers and market makers. That's it. Okay. Um, so in this instance, the way I look at the markets, the way I look at candles is if I want to be a buyer, I want the market to do. Imagine you're firing a gun or a bow and arrow or an elastic band. You have to pull it back in order for it to go forward. That's it. As a kid, I had those cars that you used to pull backwards that you let go and then off they went. Obviously, that's showing my age a little bit, and I don't think they would have anything like that these days. But that's what I'm looking for. I want that type of momentum. Question: if you see the weekly on gold, you can see that the previous highs come up and then big red candle next, or you'll be trapped in consolidation, which can play with your emotions. Now, look, you if I look at the weekly, right? The weekly, you can see price respected this high here, small resistance. We've broken through it. It came down, grabbed liquidity, and then it's broken the highs. So I expect this range to get filled. So this is the range. The market's already been there. Whether it gets all the way to the top or whether it creates new highs and comes and tests the all-time highs, I have no idea. But I would expect the basis that we've come down and now we're popping up. This is the market grabbing buyers, and I would expect the range to get filled. Nick, don't worry, you still get pullback cars. Thank God for that. Okay, so that's the way I see gold. And if you look at gold right now, we're in this impulsive move. Whether we fill this wick or whether we come all the way up to the highs, I don't know. And anyone that can tell you they know or they know what's going to happen, they're just lying to you. No one knows. We can only have a set of rules, and if the market does what we expect according to the rules, then you could just say our analysis played out. That's it. That is it. It's probability. Do learn people. Uh, Do you use other indicators or just candlesticks? No indicators, mate. I've been down that path, started down that path. It's just, remember, price creates indicators. You can use indicators to a certain extent to have some kind of leading insight whether momentum's fading or it's not fading. Um, but yeah, I just use price. Price and a couple of lines. Don't need anything else. When did I start? 2009, November 2009. I used to trade for a family office from 2012 to 2015 through Citibank, City Velocity. And then from that, I then started an education company in 2017. And this year, I decided to start live streaming. So, and TikTok, I started live streaming about 10 days ago. So very, very, very new to it all. Yeah, very simple, mate. I'm a simple guy, so I have to keep it nice and simple. Um, I believe that we as humans, we always like to overcomplicate things. How much I've made since I started. Phew. Uh, I, I'd tell you when I first started trading for a family office, I only had a $5,000 account, and I was fortunate enough to be introduced to someone at the Monaco Grand Prix in what was it, 2012, 2013. And I worked closely with this family office for 6 months. Didn't trade for them or anything, just worked closely, shared ideas. And then they asked me to trade for them. We couldn't find any big banks that he worked with for me to trade. Goldman Sachs wouldn't allow it. JP Morgan wouldn't allow it because in 2012 there was something called the Frank Dodd Agreement that came out. So if I wanted to trade for him, I had to go to where their dealing desk was, which was New York, and I didn't want to do that at the time. Um, who else didn't allow it? JP Goldman's. I can't remember. There was one more meeting we had. They wouldn't allow it, and then we went to Citibank, and he deposited 50 million into Citibank, and I had a proportion of that to trade with. Did that for 3 years, and then unfortunately, a divorce ended my contract with the family office. But that was literally the start. So I went from trading, let's say, a $5,000 account to risking between 25 and $50,000 a trade. And my first trade was a loss. Yes, it definitely that first sort of 3 months definitely put my emotions through all sorts of testers. But obviously, in terms of earnings, that's something I will always keep private. You won't see me doing flash. You won't see me showing flash cars and watches and spraying champagne all over the place and driving a G-Wagon here and there. Pretty reserved. Got a young daughter. Like to keep her tucked away from society. So it's kind of, if you know what I mean. Um, Yeah, we have a mentorship. You can check that out. Well, when I say mentorship, we do all sorts. We have a community where members join, so you can check that out on the Standstar. Hey, Mark, what's your best strategy? Um, okay, so look, I'm going to pull it up for you. So look, these are, and I don't hide anything. Everything that I do in this live stream is what I do with my members. So look, if I go to trade a breakout above here, this is exactly what I do. You can copy the rules, you can do whatever you want, guys. I mean, look, like I say, this is a shop window for me. And the difference between you just logging into here, who the actual mentors are, there's Nolan and Adam. I do the London Opens, I do the US Opens, but that's just social media. So the London Opens are for members only, and then we do swing trading at 8 p.m. for members only as well. Um, but yeah, you can check it out on Standstore. That's everything that we offer. I do offer mentoring, private mentoring, but that is only for members. I don't offer that as a service to. Uh, uh, you're still on the NAS chart. What? I'm 21. Uh, you can't see the gold chart, Donville. Maybe your Wi-Fi is frozen a little bit. Yeah, if you just click on the stand store, you can see what we do. There is an offer on the membership at the minute, and look look at my spellings. There you go. I need to save that. So look, this is how I would look for breakout long. Do we have resistance? Answer is yes. Next resistance that I have on this time frame is there. And very simple. Resistance is just a buyer candle followed by a seller candle. Have we had a close above? There's no close above, so we can't take anything yet. Do we have clear space? Yes, we've got clear space. And what I mean by clear space is at least 20 to 30 pips. Are you using prop firm, and what's the best prop firm for you? The best prop firm that we associate ourselves with, I would say, is if you have a look in the Stan store, it's called Instant FX Capital. And the reason for that is most prop firms, let's say, they're designed to make you fail. Okay, they're designed to make you fail. So as a trader, you want the the prop firm that is most closely linked to trading your own. Okay, Nasdaq's getting close, guys. Nasdaq's getting close. So you want a prop firm that is as close to trading your own personal account as possible. So what you have a look at when you so there's two things you can do here, guys. One is you can just have your order above the daily high, or you can wait for an hourly or 30-minute close above this level. Either way, it doesn't matter. You can take the pick. Um, Now, in FX Capital, they have no daily drawdown limit. They don't have you can hedge, you can use EAs, you can trade either side of news. You can, if you don't want to have stop loss, you don't have to have a stop loss. But obviously, they advise it because ultimately, no stop loss is going to be detrimental to your trading. So, what I'd say is, guys, check them out. Oh, could you hear the alert in my headset? Nick, is that what, when you said, wow, that was loud? Was it the alert you could hear? Um, what was Okay, I don't know how to, right, I don't know how to amend that, unfortunately. Uh, let me, apologies. I don't know why you got that so so loud. Your voice is very quiet. Yes, the alert. Okay. Apologies about that. I am running a couple of advanced audio settings. Um, select speaker. Okay, so mm, the volume might be too loud for viewers. Um, I'm just trying to understand why the sound from my voice is quiet, but yet. Um, Apologies, guys. All right, what I'll do is I'll turn the alerts off because I don't want you needing a change of underwear while you're in live stream. So apologies about that for guys on TikTok. So yeah, we're waiting for this one now. Obviously, comics has just opened, so potential to see some diving around here on gold, but we're going to wait for buys above 33.65. um, Now, again, this is something I'm going to repeat, and if you do log into more live streams of mine, you're probably going to get bored. And the reason I say that is because I'm not going to change anything. It's not like you're going to see new things every day. It's all about repetition. And, repetition, if you want to do something, is either going to make you very good at doing something or it's going to make you very bad at doing something. Because remember, repetition, right? It is to repeat a process. Now, if you're repeating a process that you aren't doing very well. So, look, when it comes to people trading, yeah, why do most traders lose? There's multiple reasons. Um, but one of the main things, it's like anything. If you keep doing something where you've not been trained or you've not been educated in a certain manner, you're just going to make, we call it practice makes permanent, right? Practice doesn't make perfect, practice makes permanent. So if you do something continually wrong, you're just going to get very good at doing the wrong thing, right? So I know people don't like to invest in themselves in different things because at the end of the day, life is tough, everything costs money, and it's just going up and up and up. But you also have to think about opportunity cost. When you say close above, would that be only be for one time frame, like a close above for the 1 hour? Bottle Mac, good question. Yeah, so in this instance, right, you can see my structure here is on the hourly. Let me just drop to the 30. Okay, on the 30, the structure is still the same. So I'd be happy at 15 minute. Okay, so let me just have a look at structure. Okay, 69. I'd wait for a close above on the 30. I'd leave the 15 alone. So either both charts, 30-minute close. Uh, Now, if this had been the other way, if this was a bullish candle and you got a big wick, I'd be interested in buying this right now. Because what we've seen is we've got a minor support level here. This candle's closed below, and then you've got a big wick. So I'd expect the range to get filled. So on this basis, the candle's wicked up. I'd look to fill this wick coming down here. But because it's against trend, it's not something I'm going to do. Okay, it's not something I'm going to do. And again, do you have Discord community for free? If I have to avail, tell me how to. Okay, so free channels. I have a free Telegram channel. Everything I do is on Telegram. Um, you'll be able to see that in the Stand Store. So if you go to Stand Store, I'll just post it again, guys. So if you go here, you'll see the free Telegram channel. You'll see the instant funding account. And remember, the instant funding account, the other thing that's good about them is you're not buying a demo account. You're actually going through KYC and AML. Okay, so that means you're going through the anti-money laundering and know your client details. So you have to upload your documentation. You are actually depositing into an account that will then get multiplied. Okay, so probably the best one out there. And it's a scaling. So as you hit a certain milestones, it doubles, and then another milestone, it doubles. So it's very, very good. I don't see buying momentum until 33, 35. Well, you won't see buying momentum until buyers turn up. So we can want buyers to come in wherever we want, but if they come in at 33.48 or if they come in at 33.46, then that's where buyers come in for me. You know, we don't know until it happens. My structure points aren't just drawn in to be a buyer from here, because if I'm going to be a buyer down here, I'd want to see clean candle range here to be a buyer from. Okay. If I'm going to be a seller here, I need to see it break and close below. Yeah. It's a very, very simple process that I have. It's not making it difficult, guys. And this is why my members are getting some great results. Another one of my members this morning has just passed a funded account with the 5%ers. So well done to Gandav. Boz, no, pleasure, mate. If you've got to go, thanks for logging in. Appreciate it. Um, so yeah, we'll just sit tight, and like I said, I will just repeat and repeat and repeat until you understand that trading is the thing that you will do least of. Trading is the thing that you will do least of. The thing you're going to spend the most time doing is mapping out the charts, back testing, forward testing through trade simulators, going through your results, reviews, analyzing charts. That's the thing you're going to do the most of. Today I've done 2 trades. They lasted a grand total of 6 minutes. So since 9:30 this morning, I've not done anything in front of the charts. All I've done is create a couple of videos. Okay. Charlie for trading. Hey, on average, how many trades do you take a day? Um, Probably 2 to 3 trades per session would be like a busy session. Um, on a quiet day, it'll be no trades in a session. Um, fr fr from current price, you're selling. Okay, good luck, bud. Uh, Thanks, Mark. Tips for a starter, Mr. Let's Cause It. Okay, tips for a starter. Best tip I would say is get rid of all indicators, get rid of all the clutter on your chart, and learn to read price. Okay, because price, it's like reading a book. Each candle will tell you something. But look, let me show you something. This is this is probably one of the best things I learned, and it's so easy to understand. If this is your first candle, right? If this is candle one, Let me just put text here. So if this is candle 1, there's only 4 things that candle 2 can do. There's only 4 things that candle 2 can do. So the first thing it can do is it can do this, which means it has a higher high and a higher low. That's the first thing it can do. Okay, so that's number 1, and that's what I would call an up range candle. The second thing it can do is this. It can have a lower high and a lower low than the first candle, and that's what I call a downrange candle. Okay, up range, down range, very, very simple. Next thing, outside candle has a higher high and a lower low. Yep, higher high and a lower low. Then the next thing and the last thing is this, an inside candle, a lower high and a higher low. It cannot do anything else. So if you know that there's only 4 options, then you've got a much higher probability of understanding where the next candle is likely to go. Now, do you remember the names, what I said they were? Big Gav, if you just go into the stand store, you'll be able to see what course is on offer at the minute. Hey Sid, welcome, Jamaica in the house. Okay, so there's only those 4 things, right? There's only those 4 things: inside, outside, uprange, and downrange. Well done, bottom mat. That's it, perfect. So which one of those things would you expect to see if the market was trending up? If the market's trending up, which one of those candles do you expect you would see more of? Bottom mat, exactly, uprange, uprange. So, right, if we've got the market trending up and the next candle has closed, the new one opens and it goes down first, where do we think the market's going to go? That's why I like candles to go down before they go up, or I like them to go up before they go down. If you understand there's only 4 things that can happen with a candle, you're gonna start reading the charts in a completely different manner. The only other variable from how a candle's formed is where it closes. Are we allowed to answer? Of course you are, Anna. Uloko, how you doing, buddy? Welcome back. Yeah. So does this make sense? You can honestly, if you start to strip a chart down, you will start to do so well with your trading. You just got to keep it simple. Stay out of the mess, stay out of the clutter. Um, I don't know where everyone's registering from, but this type of noise here, this for me, this for me is like driving around the M25 in rush hour. Or if you're from the US, maybe driving through New York, Manhattan in rush hour, or driving around LA in rush hour. You know, this is carnage. You want to try and make money through here, you might as well go to a casino. Hey, Edwin, how are you, buddy? We haven't placed any tell a lie. We haven't had activated a trade yet. We do have a pending order on NASDQ above yesterday's high, but Um, that's all we've got happening at the minute. So I'll just go through this very, very briefly. So look, we have uptrend, we're consolidation. Uh, this was, let me get rid of that for now. So look, we had the market form resistance. This candle has done something different that these haven't. It's closed above a certain price. So if we expect what I just told you, and Bottle Matt was the one answering the questions in TikTok, if we've got an uptrend and we've had a breakout and the market is predominantly moving to the upside, what type of candle did we expect to say we would see more of? Downrange, inside, outside, or uprange? Which one did we expect to see more of? Yeah, KD, uprange. So on that basis, This market has come down. Now, this today we've come down, but we've respected the low. We haven't broken yesterday's low. Now, if we then break our own high and yesterday's high, I will pretty much bet my bottom dollar that we're going to run straight to TP1 at 20 pips on this trade. Now remember, we're only in the trade if we break yesterday's high. So on that basis, if we break yesterday's high, we're going to be in an uprange. It's going to be an uprange candle. Yeah. So that is how we apply a simple set of rules, looking at 4 different candle types and utilizing it with trend. If we want to break it down to the lower time frames and you want to look for the breakout trade, well then look, all we do is this. We forget about what we're looking at on the daily. Let's get rid of that. There's our most recent resistance. Right, we know we've got clear range above here because it's daily resistance. So if I want to trade a breakout above there, I'm just going, right, breakout long. Let's put that in. Oh, did this yesterday. There we go. So if I'm looking at this, and like I said, I'll always give you exactly what I do in the live streams. I don't do anything different to what I'm telling you here. Resistance, 21,517. I want to see an hourly candle close above 21,517. So we've got resistance, yes. Have we had a close above? No, so I can't place a trade yet. But once we have a close above, do we have clear space? Yes, we've got about 400 pips of clear space, so lovely. Next candle to wick down. So that means once we've closed above, the next candle, I need it to start moving down first. A bit like I told you, when we see an elastic band, we want to fire it forward, we have to pull it backwards for it to go forwards. Okay, so close above, next candle to move down. As soon as it moves down, we put a buy stop above the order. And that's it. Super, super simple, guys. Like I said, I'm not here to try and confuse you and dazzle you with weird terminology and God knows what else that I'm sure some traders will do. It's just simple stuff, guys. The hardest thing you'll have to do as a trader is control yourself. Gandalf, let me have a look at the DAX. I wonder why there is such a difference between your prices and mine. I'm looking at NQ, which is the mini NAS, and the price is 20,908. You're on the futures, ES minis. Yeah, there's always a. So one thing to here's a tip. Here's a little tip for you as well, guys. Okay, so if you have you has anyone ever heard of premiums? So in theory, right, the future price should always be more than the cash price. If you want to buy something physically now, in theory, the future price should always be more. Now, if you want to see if there's a premium in something, then the spot price, the cash price, will be more than the future price. Usually means there's demand for it. And the best way of thinking about this is, how many of you like your top end luxury cars? Whether you have them or not is a different thing. You can still like them and appreciate them. So let's say you went to Koenigsegg or you went to Ferrari or you went to Lamborghini and you ordered the latest, okay? You're going to put your name down, you're going to put a deposit down, and then in 1 year or 2 years, your order will come to you. Now, what can happen is, depending on the car that you've ordered, if there's a big demand for it, people will want to buy your order place off you. So you can actually charge a premium. So let's say you put 5 grand down or 10 grand down to get that car. What can happen is, before you take delivery of it, someone can buy your place off you, and they might give you 50,000 or 40,000 to take your order number, and you just laid down the 5 grand or the 10 grand. So that's called a premium. And in the markets works very similar way. If the spot price is more than the future price, guess what? There's demand for it. I expect it to continue higher. Okay, that's a little simple rule there. Um, we're just still sat waiting for trades, guys. Here we go. We're getting close. Okay, I'm definitely looking for buys on gold. Buys on gold is what I'd be favoring. Um, just to continue with trend, right? But nothing else. Yes, we do have a pending order on NASDAQ, but we aren't activated yet. Hi, Chris. I can't say that name. Hi, Cash. FK, how are you? Addy King, welcome, family. Hello. So yeah, just sit tight, guys, and we're gonna sit here like the sniper in the woods, waiting for our shot. We only need one shot. Any other trades you're looking at the minute? Dan, just gold and Nasdaq. I don't trade anything. I trade gold and DAX in the morning, and gold and Nasdaq in the afternoon. Don't really need any other markets. So I trade DAX and Nasdaq because they're similar price points. They're both in the 20,000s, and they both move similar. So when I come to manage my trades and targets, etc., I don't have to vary anything. Um, they they're all volatile, so they all move a lot, and they all have good spreads. So as a day trader, when I'm looking to take a dollar or 20 pips out of a market, I want something that's highly liquid, something that doesn't gap a lot, obviously unless it's news, and tight spreads. So that's the main reason. So thanks for the questions, guys. Appreciate it. Keeps the streams moving because from my point of view, um, it's a little bit like I can't imagine it, but I guess it's like being on radio. Only difference with radio, you don't really. I'm guessing you don't have anyone to or anything to look at and get answers back, which is why they always have listeners firing questions in. Rich Lambertine, how you doing? We need to, how we doing? So yeah, just these two markets, guys, and like I say, probably generate me around 2 to 3 trades per session in a busy session. We had 2 trades this morning, and I don't have anything this afternoon. I've only got a pending order above yesterday's high, so just above here. Now, I reckon, let's have a look what's happening on. I just want to pull up Forex Live because there's no news unless Mr. President decides to tweet or do something. 3 o'clock is obviously the jolts, but yeah, there's nothing coming out today. Meta to buy nuclear power for Constellation. Okay, nothing. Yeah, there's nothing really jumping out today. So yeah, I think it'd just be a matter of DAX 15 minutes. Can it be a buy? Let's have a look. Gandav. So Gandav is one of our members. That's just uh, yeah, it's looking. It looks looks like we've got potential. So this morning we were looking for sells below this level, but unfortunately this move just happened. Didn't give us an entry. It just went. Then we've had CPI data out of Europe. Let's have a look. Yeah, you got 50 points up towards the highs. Let me just get rid of that text now because it's nil and void. Uh, oops. Let's get that off. Okay, so if I was looking for sells, I'd be looking for a sell below here, a close below there. Let's have a look at the range. 68 points, that's fine. Look for a close above there and trade up to here. So that's what I'd be looking for. If we got a 15-minute close above there, a 15-minute close below here, as long as we've got clear candle space, which we do, clear candle space to the downside, yeah, you've got options. My preference, as I said, the Gandav will be looking towards gold or the Nasdaq. Um, but I can't see much happening with these two markets today. It's probably going to happen as I tune out. And like I say, if I don't get a trade during the live session, that's going to be me done for the day. So today we've had two trades, two wins. Um, Nasdaq looks much better on the daily. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for on the daily on the US Open as NYSE opens at 2:30. Hope we see that big pump. I don't care what it does afterwards, but just looking for a pump on the open, and then we can potentially see a TP1, TP2 hit, and then hopefully it's a runner. If not, it doesn't matter. So, question for you guys online, TikTok, YouTube. How many? Senator Rose, cheers, thank you. I don't know what. I've got a flare and I don't know what the hell that means. Uh, Anyone know what I'm meant to do with a flare? Let's see if I can. Um, I no, I have no any other. I keep hearing. Do you know what that noise is in the background? Anyone? Um, right. Okay. So gold, Nasdaq. We're waiting patiently. Uh, Badram, how we doing? Fernand, what was that? Matthew, how we doing? Juan Ma, uh, look at your chart using a trend line. No, I don't use trend lines. It's just another way of confusing my analysis. But look, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them. I use them for years. Um, Error, YouTube is not receiving. Uh, all right, something's happening on YouTube. Guys, guys on YouTube, is the video still there or not? Uh, okay, fantastic. I just got some notice saying there was no video. Okay, so like I'm saying, we're just gonna sit tight right now and um, wait for the market to either break through these highs on the Nasdaq, and I suspect if it's gonna happen, it'll be done through the US Open. So we've got about 35 minutes to wait. I'll try and sit through. Gold daily has sell up range candle and previous was green candle below. What does that indicate? Okay, Dan, good question. Okay, so look, let's take a look at gold. Now, one of one of the systems that we will trade, not necessarily on a daily chart, but one of the systems we will trade is we will look to buy the high of a bearish up range candle in a strong uptrend. So, for example, let's see. Yeah, just a single one. Okay, that's an inside candle. You don't see them very often, but if it happens, we're buyers. We will buy the high of it. Not seeing one. Maybe. Okay, here you go. Strong trend, bearish up range candle. This market has gone down first. We would have had our buy above the high. And look what happened. You don't see them very often, but if you see a strong uptrend, it's a bearish up range candle, buy the high of it. Here you go. Here's another one. Strong trend, bearish up range candle, buy the high. Look what happens. There's a it's just a failed rejection, right? It's sellers trying to push price down and fail. So as it takes out the highs, you're basically turning all those sellers and you're hitting all those sellers stop losses and it becoming a buy. Does that make sense, Dan? Great question as well. Rich, Nico, how we doing? Um, let me know if that made sense, guys. So we'll go back to present day. Um, guys on YouTube, did that make sense what I was saying about the bearish uprange candle? It does, but I can't understand how it can go up and be red. Okay, so basically what's happened, if you let me draw it this way. So look, this is going to be a white candle, right? It's done this. Oops. Okay, so this is a bullish candle because it's white like mine. So forgive the wiggles. Now the next candle it opens here, but it goes up first. So it goes like this. But then it comes back down and it closes bearish. So this is a black bodied candle. Does that make sense? So it has a higher high and a higher low. It's just closed lower than where it opened. So it's broken the previous candle's high. It's respected the previous candle's low. It's just closed lower than where it opened. Does that make sense, Dan? Yeah, wicked. All right. As I said, I always like to try and have simple stuff that we can analyze. Right, okay, what's happening now? We are uh we are waiting for the NASDAQ. Waiting for the NASDAQ to pop. So there is end of day orders have pending order above yesterday's high. Breakout traders are waiting for an hourly or a 30-minute close above 21,514. You know, depending on the type of trader you are, obviously you might not want the trade, but some of you may want to do the end of day trade, some of you may want to do the breakout trade. It's personal preference. Okay, so don't worry about um, and if you don't understand the systems, do not place anything, right? Just look at it later. Make notes of it. Try and understand the system. Then try and find, when you're looking at the charts, try and find where it's happened previously. Live will end in 5 minutes. We have deactivated inactivity during your current live complete the verify. What's going on? Something is going on YouTube and TikTok. I can't even refresh the data. So guys, if I lose you, uh, something has happened. I don't know what. Uh, yeah, there's all sorts going on. Uh, close that down. Okay, can you still see me on TikTok, guys? Ah, there we go. Ah, there we go. Something just happened and it just said it was going to close down for some reason, but we're back. I think it must be something that happens when you go over the hour mark. But yeah, we're just, thanks, Dan. Yeah, so we're just sitting tight, waiting for the market to do its thing. Gold, if you're new guys or you just tuned in, we're waiting for a market to close above 3365.20, which is my preference. I'll be looking for longs on gold, um, or we're waiting for NASDAQ to push higher. We do have a pending order on NASDAQ. We can see and hear you. Thanks, Uloco. Cheers, buddy. So at 2:30 will be the next time we get a potential setup on gold. So you've got 30 minutes now for this candle to close above this range. If it closes above the range, then we can look to put in orders. If it doesn't close above this range at 2:30, I will be closing my screen and saying goodbye and catching you all tomorrow. Wilson Knowledge, how are we doing? Husmak, Joey, Cal, hey mate, how long have you been trading for? Well, in FX, I started November 2009. In 2005, I started trading oil and gas penny stocks. Created a bit of a system there, made a lot of theoretical profit from no cash, from very little balance, and then leveraged it all on a company that I thought was going to go to the moon and lost it all. So yeah, the same company I made most of it on, I lost it all on. Do I only buy? No, I will buy and sell. I know you'll probably find the people that say they're only buy only will be people that are pretty much involved in equities or indexes because they have the mentality that it's wrong to sell stocks. Geez, you've been in the markets for a long time. Fair play and respect on 4 years. Yeah, you don't get grey beard like this if you've not been in it a long time. Um, yeah, yeah. No, I started late. My youngest member is 14. He started with me when he was 12. He's doing really well. His dad's super supportive. I used to teach his sister as well, but it's just him now. Um, but yeah, it is what it is, guys. And like I say, the thing that you can't teach is patience, and the thing that you can't teach is how an individual is going to react to stressful times, because everyone's going to experience stressful times, right? Um, but it's how you deal with it, how you deal with yourself. Um, Everyone has a different risk tolerance. Everyone has Chris is on 4 months. Uh, Hey, listen, I'd rather be on 4 months than have never have started. There's a lot of people that, they want to do things and don't because they're scared of all the horror stories that are out there, which there are plenty. So just limit stress by having sensible risk approach. Well, Dan, that's probably the best thing that can be said because remember, there's only one thing you can control in this industry. There's only one thing you can control. Do you know what that is? You can't control the outcome. You can't control how fast or how slow the market moves. The only thing you can control is how much money you put on a trade. That's it. Yeah. So when you see people that scream because they've lost X, Y, and Z, don't feel sorry for them because that's the only thing that they can control. In my opinion, probably as well as others, trading is such a learning curve in nearly every category. Yeah, I mean the biggest category I think you will. So just to give you an insight, right, guys, the company is called obviously you see it, I'm called Trade and Train. The reason I am called Trade and Train is I thought the best people for trading would be those who are most disciplined. Now, I'm not wrong, but who would you think are probably the most disciplined people you know? What would you say is who's really disciplined and what type of person? Who do you think are the most disciplined people that you you know? Wicked, probably Trump. Um, so for me, right, I was like, who are the most disciplined people in any industry? And I thought it was the fitness people, or yeah, like military. Yeah, military, exactly. In my mind, I thought fitness, but military, yeah, great one. So I thought the people that got on stage because they were eating horrible, tasteless food, they're training, they're sleeping, they're missing out on all the social life, they're not doing anything, right? So I'm called Trade and Train because at the mere age of 37, I decided to compete in men's physique. So I did that for a number of years until my partner said, uh, "You can pack that in, otherwise I'm off." So yeah, I went into competing men's physique for 3 and a bit years. I stopped just after my 40th birthday, and they weren't interested at all. They were not interested at all. And the reason I did it is because I thought, you know what, if you can be that disciplined to get up at 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning, to do your steps, to do your cardio, to weigh out your food, to work out all your macros for the day, to sleep when you're meant to sleep, to hit the water that you're meant to hit, to cut out the salt, to cut out the sugars. If you can be that disciplined, surely you can spend an hour a day or 2 hours a day in front of the charts during your rest time and look to try and make some extra cash. Absolutely not. Not interested whatsoever. The entrepreneurs within that circle, they just went on to do like clothing brands, merchandising, supplements, that kind of thing. None of them had any interest in trading. So what it did for me was it meant for like 3.5, 4 years, I just got in super, super good shape. And then for the next 4.5 years, I got in super, super bad shape. Um, so yeah, I've only just started going back to the gym. So yeah, got a bit lazy. I did start running in between because the physique just wasn't looking pretty. But that's um that's what I would say. Right, NASDAQ. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Are we gonna are we gonna pop? So orders just above this high from a daily buy stop. Um, Guys, I am going to say thank you so much for the interaction today on both both sets on YouTube and TikTok. It's appreciated that you have spent this amount of time here and been asking me questions because it is difficult from my point of view. There's only so much you can say about a chart that's not moving, so I appreciate the questions and don't be afraid to ask questions because there's probably God knows how many other people that are sat on the line as well that maybe want to ask the same question but don't ask it. Longest I've spent on a Traders Live is that a good thing or a bad thing, Dan? I'm nervous now. Um, if it's good feedback, you can post it. If it's bad feedback, wait till we're off. 99% are 18-year-olds selling courses. Yeah, yeah. No, I mean obviously I have courses and mentorships, but at the same point, I'm just using this as a marketing tool, and I'll trade in there in front of you, um, so that you can see how it's done. And it's not, this isn't me trying to sell, and I'm not trying to sell. If you want to be part of our community, obviously we'll always welcome and anyone that is uh, like-minded, because my members, they're not your traditional, let's say, Lamborghinis, champagne. They're not that type of party boy. We are all supporting one another, men, women, students, a couple, not many, um, and we all vouch for each other's success. Um, uh, I love life like this, educational, as we all need in trading. Very good. Learned a lot from half an hour on it. Oh, that's great to hear. Thanks. Uh, We all got to help each other in this industry. Absolutely. Like you said, simple is boring, boring is repeatable, and that consistently. Exactly. Love it, Dan. You got all my lines. I can't add anything to that. And like I say, I'll be doing this most days of the week, 1 o'clock. So you can tune in on TikTok, YouTube. Uh, most days, 1 p.m. I'll be live. Like I said, it's shop window. I won't be stopping anytime soon. And listen, people say to me, why do I do it? There's another reason why I do it. Do you want to know how disciplined I am in front of you guys, as opposed to sometimes it's very easy to uh, let's say, get distracted and forget what we're doing, which is why I do things like this. I mark the charts up. I have my rules ready for I know which system I'm going to trade. Um, but the more people that I'm speaking to on a daily basis and the live streams, I'm absolute militant. Yeah. But you will see it though on a live stream. Occasionally, I'll get carried away. I'll get sucked in and I'll buy or sell instantly there and then when I've not pre-planned it. You'll see it, and when I win or when I lose, you'll see it live. It happened last week on Wednesday. Um, two losing trades back to back, but then we've been on a nice little winning run since then. But it happens. We're all gonna have wins and we're all gonna have losses. It's just how we deal with them. We can't expect to be a boxer and not get punched in the face, right? We've got 17 minutes. So this is what I'm waiting for, guys. 17 minutes. And if if it don't happen on the NASDAQ in 17 minutes time, I'm going to call it a day. In what website are you trading? Uh, this, what we're on right now, this is TradingView. This is just where I do my analysis. And then trades will be placed on MT4 and then they're copied onto multiple different accounts, both MT4 and MT5. So I trade on one account and it copies onto multiple accounts. Now, one thing, and it's quite a good tip, I would say, to anyone that, I don't know, let's say you've got a prop account and you've got a personal account. Your personal account, let's say it's 500 or $1,000, and then your prop account, you're trading $100,000. What can happen is when you start trading the 100K account, your mind can just see the pips and the profit and the P&L, and you lose focus of the process because you just see the numbers, the P&L, and you go, "Oh shit, hold on, I'm making 500 bucks," but really you're only 5 or 10 pips up, when really you should be thinking, right, 20 pips is my first take profit. That's when I scale half out, and that'd be $1,000. And then you move your stops to break even, and then you do this. But people go wrong because they jump straight from a 500 dollar account to a 100K or a 200K, and then they just go crazy. They go batshit crazy because they're just seeing big telephone numbers and they forgot all the hard work they've done with a small account. So I'd always say keep trading the $500 account and then copy that onto your funded account. Now, the downside is some funded accounts don't allow copy trading. So what will happen is when you place a trade on your $500 account and then it goes through onto your funded account, what will happen is in one of the tabs, it'll say placed by EA. As soon as that happens, they won't tell you anything. They'll let you pass your account, and then once your account's passed and you submit you pay out, they'll go, "Oh no, you've been using EA." They're bastards for it. They're absolute bastards. They will just keep doing this. They won't tell you you've failed until you go in for a payout. So this is why I'm always very skeptical with a lot of prop firms, and that's why in the stand store that a few of you have been asking about. So in my stand store, I'll just post it again now. You can see all the offers that we have in there, but more importantly, the instant FX capital. Have a look at them, guys. It takes nothing to have a look. They're nothing flashy. They're just a provider, and you'll go through their partner broker that facilitates the incubator account. So really, really good. I had this once with Alpha Capital 100K. Yeah, mate, they're terrible. They're absolutely terrible, and they all do the same thing. They all do the same thing. In fact, no, that's wrong. I shouldn't put them all in the same basket because that'd be wrong of me. There's just rumors about a lot of them. I've had experience with a few. I won't name any of them because I'm not here to uh, slander any companies, but I will always promote the ones that I have had a good experience with, and my members have shared a good experience. So if my members are having a good time with something, I'm happy to share it. Okay. So we've got 12 minutes, guys. Waiting for the open on the NASDAQ. There's going to be nothing for me on gold today. So gold, I'm not going to be seeing anything on gold. I can pretty much guarantee it. So I'm going to leave gold alone. You can see my alerts. This is what I'd be looking for. Buys above 3365.2, sells below 3346.8. I'd want to close above or close below on at least the 30-minute time frame. Okay, so prop and instant, they're both the same in principle, right? But with a lot of prop firms, they will also give you an opportunity to buy an instant account, which means you don't have to go through any challenges. You just go straight into an instant funding. But what they'll do is they will say that some of the rules are different with instant funding. So instead of getting 80% payout, you might get 50, then your first payout, then you might get 60% your second payout, and so forth. The one that I put in my standstill, again, you're not buying a demo account. You're actually opening up your own live account. So you have to go through KYC and AML, and then the smallest account, if I think it's $300 deposit. It's the smallest account, and the biggest being $5,000 deposit. And they can trade up to 60K or trade up to 1 million. So they're all scaling. Now, the Instant FX Capital, what's good about them, there's no daily drawdown limit. So as you is trading is really profitable or just take money from people. Am I here taking money from you? I would. This is all free. So look, at the end of the day, there's people out there that will, I don't know. I'll come back to you in a second, Chris, but Abu Mad has asked a good question. Um, let's just say I never traded a live account in my life, but yet I could teach you how to be profitable. Would that be wrong? How many people do you see that are tennis instructors, kickboxing instructors? They may have never had a professional match or a professional fight in their life, but they could be very good coaches. Yeah, no, no, no. I'm not debating that, and that's the problem with the industry, because in this industry there's finances involved. So it's not just the fact that you're paying for a service, you're then using your own capital afterwards. Um, it is a minefield. Um, I've had some experience of it. I've heard some horror stories. Um, you just have to, I don't know. I think that you just have to see people face to face, really, and then you take your gut feel whether they're genuine or not, and whether that person resonates with you, male, female, whether they've got a big office or not. You've actually got a presence you can go to. There's so many different ways you can try and judge. If someone's just purely online, do they ever do physical? See, I'm purely online, but I do physical events. So, like, you can come to a live event um, nearly every month here in London. Um, but these are the things that I'm telling about. If someone's just purely online and they never do physical events and they're not happy to meet, etc., maybe there's something you need to like just distance yourself a little bit. Um, you'd always want to be able to, what's going on? Uh, there we go. So that's what I'd say. So going back to the prop and instant. So instant funding, um, it just means you can get payouts without having to go through a challenge. Um, the other thing with the prop firms, you've got daily drawdown limits, which could be 4%, 8%, 10%, whatever they are. But let's say your target is 10% and your daily drawdown limit is 4%. So let's say you make 4%, okay? Your daily drawdown limit is still 4% the next day, and whatever your total drawdown limit has raised with you as your high equity mark or high watermark has gone up. So these are things that they don't give you any extra leeway by having a good 2 or 3 days. So that's where Instant FX Capital comes in really good, because let's say you've had 3 or 4 or 2 weeks really good and you've made 5, 6, 7%. Your drawdown now is 17%. You've got that 10% buffer. This These are things that the other firms don't allow. So that's what I'd look for. You want a condition that is as close to your own trading account as possible. That's what you want. And then you know that the restrictions are very, very limited. Right, guys, we have about 8 minutes and I am gagging for a drink of water. It's probably the most I've talked in bloody ages. But is trading really profitable? Yeah. Sorry, I just missed a few questions. The best way to explain FX is airport exchanges, just the same, but markets are more advanced. Yeah, listen, FX it's a minefield. It really is a minefield. Um, okay, just a few minutes to go, guys. Just a few minutes to go, and then we will either not have a trade or we will. So we have a pending order above yesterday's high on the NASDQ. User flare, what does that mean? Let's use it, see what happens. I have no idea what just happened there. So here we go. So we have a buy stop in above the high of this candle. All right, I'm gonna put it in like this. So this is currently what our order looks like. I'm just gonna and our, oh, sorry if you just heard that. I'm just moving my target, which is uh, so target is here. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. Now, in terms of trade management, what I'm going to do. So should I do an instant or use my own capital? Okay, so Chris, that's a really good question. So how long have you been trading and how are you in terms of consistency? So I think the best way to answer that question, Chris, would be, look, let's say you've got a $1,000 account. I would say, okay, so then don't trade a funded account because they come with restrictions. And when I say funded, I mean prop or instant, because they come with restrictions. What you want to do is with your personal account, and this would be again, I don't know who it was, asked for some advice at the beginning. What would be the best advice for a new trader? Start on the smallest risk. So 0.01 lots. That's the smallest amount you can risk. You can't risk any more than that. You're not going to make any big mistakes with that. You're not going to blow an account. You're not going to, you can't do much damage. Then, as you see some consistency, let's say you trade for a month and you make money. Then what you want to do is you want to increase your risk. So maybe you go to 0.02 or 0.03. You might have another month of making money. Then go to 0.05. Now, let's say you have 2 losing weeks back to back. I would go straight back to 0.01. So what you're doing is as you increase your success and your profitability is going up, you're increasing your risk. But as you have a bad period, you decrease your risk twice as fast as you increased your risk. So that when you're having a losing streak, your equity curve drops a lot slower than it does if you're having a positive streak. And then with your $1,000, let's say you wanted an instant FX account. Once you've made $300, withdraw that $300 and buy an instant account. So it's only coming out of profits because if you use a prop account, there's restrictions, and the probability is you're going to end up blowing a prop account until you prove to yourself that you can manage your own account under the same restrictions that you can be positive with a prop account. Does that make sense? Um, Ending your life will also end the flow's effect. I don't know what that means. Okay, so yeah, there you go. There's my standstill. In there, that's everything that we have to offer, free channels, YouTube channel, whatever. So have a look in there, guys. So we have a pending order on the NASDAQ right now. We're waiting for the open in 3 minutes. Yeah, there's NAS News, NAS News. There's Jolt's Jobs at 3 p.m. But trust me, if this triggers, I would expect us to be way out of the trade before the news comes in, or at least at risk-free anyway. So let's see what happens on the open. First uh, auto break even is set at 15 pips. So that is, let me just, oh, sorry, auto break even. Was that just loud? Uh, so at 21,555. So 21,555 is where the buy entry price, 1 second. Now just remember this is my broker data, so it's 21,540.83. Stop loss is at 21,357.56. TP is at 21,770. So if you look at this, 21,539. In fact, broker data is pretty much the same as Pepperstone's data, looking at it. So same as this. There's entry, stop, and profit level. So it's identical to that. Now, what I'll do as soon as it triggers is I'm going to bring my stop right up. Trolley happy. How we doing, guys? Yeah, lovely. So we've got 1 minute. See if the surge comes in. If the surge comes in, I'm just going to be ramming the stop loss right up. So that's what we're looking at. Here comes the open. We have 7 seconds. And there we go. We're getting close to being triggered. And I'm in. There we go. 4, 5, 7. All right. 10 pips up now. 10 pips, 12 pips, 13. 2 more pips and it's break even. And there we go, break even. You're at break even now, guys. Break even. Let me see if I can share my other screen with you. 17 pips. Oh, why is it not? So I've just moved my stop slightly in profit. So we're 15 pips up, 16 pips up, guys. Anna's break even, 10 pips up now, so it's coming back towards our entry. Okay, about to get stopped out. There we go. I'm stopped out at break even. So it didn't quite hit my first TP. So I stopped out at break even. I was trying to change, but it's just not very responsive when I'm trying to add my. So that was a break even trade. Um, but now what we can look for. Why is this not? This is what drives me mad with technology. Uh, let's see if I can move that like that. See if I can. It just won't let me add more of the screen. So, and I don't know what keeps bleeping. Okay, so Peter Cole got T1 and break even. So well done, Peter Cole. Um, so that's it, guys. I'm done for today now. That was my one trade for the session. We came out break even. Well, I think made 3 pips, but it just covers a little bit of something. Uh, well, 21 5 40 8 5. We made 4 pips, so I moved my stop up 4 pips in front of profits in front of the entry price. So it wasn't much. It was just to cover any kind of like slippage in case there is any. So what you can do now, guys, is if this candle closes above on the 30, so or the hourly, well, if it closes above on the 30, it will close above on the hourly. You can look to do breakout entries above the high, but it has to close above here on the 30. All right, guys. Well, we've just finished now. That was a 30 minute 1 hour. It didn't matter because they're all the same. We were looking to trade the momentum on the break of yesterday's high. Guys, thank you so much for your time as well. Appreciate the time. I appreciate the engagement. I'll see you all tomorrow at 1 o'clock, maybe. Um, if you can be here tomorrow at 1 o'clock, I'll be on. If not, we'll see you the day after. Bye, guys. Take care. Thanks, guys. And please remember to share, like, and do all that